Hi everybody, welcome to my English class. Today we will learn the poem 6, No Men Are Foreign, written by James Falconer Kirkup. This poem tells us why we must not hate our brothers and sisters who live in different countries of the world. Let us understand about the poet. James Falconer Kirkup, 1918 to 2009. Born James Harold Kirkup, is an English poet, translator, and travel writer. He wrote over 30 books, including autobiographies, novels, and plays. He wrote his first book of poetry, The Drowned Sailor, which was published in 1947. He became a Fellow of the Royal Society of Literature in 1962. No Men Are Foreign was published in the year 1966. Explanation of poetic lines. Lines 1 to 4. Remember, no men are strange, no countries foreign. Beneath all uniforms, a single body breathes. Like ours, the land our brothers walk upon is earth like this, in which we all shall lie. The poet tells that men are not different from each other simply on the basis that they come from separate countries. They may fight for the army of their country, but underneath the uniform, they are all similar. Our opponent, army's soldiers live and breathe just as we do. Most fights between two countries result from disputes over a piece of land. However, all the land on earth is the same. Moreover, every man will have to lie in the earth at one time or the other. That is, all men have to die, and all pieces of land are potential graveyards in which they fight. Lines 5 to 8. They too, aware of sun and air and water, are fed by peaceful harvests, by war's long winter starved. Their hands are ours, and in their lines we read, a labor not different from our own. The poet gives further evidence of the unity of man. He says that those who live in other countries also depend on the same sun, air, and water for their survival. They too have seen peace and war. During a peaceful period, they have a good harvest and food products. Similarly, during the war period, just like a long winter, availability of food will be in scarce, resulting in famine. They look just like us and are descended from the same ancestors as we are. Lines 9 to 12. Remember, they have eyes like ours that wake, or sleep, and strength that can be won. By love in every land is common life that all can recognize and understand. The poet urges us to keep in mind the fact that our opponents sleep and wake like we do and follow a similar type of lifestyle. Every human being has an inner source of strength that he can use to help his fellow beings. However, that resource can only be unlocked by following the path of love. When we love someone, then only we stand up for them. That is why it is necessary for every man to love his fellow beings without creating divisions amongst them. Despite the differences between various nations, there is one thing that they all have in common. The common people live the same kind of life everywhere. Therefore, we can recognize the presence of that life no matter where we travel in this wide world. Lines 13 to 15. Let us remember, whenever we are told to hate our brothers, it is ourselves that we shall dispossess, betray, condemn. The poet disagrees against the efforts of military and religious groups that encourage us to carry out wars. Those groups are misguiding their own people. They are asking their followers to hate their opponents without realizing that they are our own brothers. Any hatred that we show on any member of the human race is equivalent to our disloyalty towards the people. Lines 16 to 17. Remember, we who take arms against each other, it is the human earth that we defile. The poet specifies the impacts of war. If we, the guardians of the earth, were to die out as a result of the war, then there would be no one left to take care of the home that our ancestors had passed down to us. We would then have nothing to pass down to our future generations. Lines 18 to 20. Our hells of fire and dust outrage the innocence of air that is everywhere our own. Remember, no men are foreign and no country strange. The poet compares wartime with hell. In war as in hell, there is fire and smoke everywhere. As a result of this, the earth is becoming poisoned. The air that we breathe is becoming impure and will not be able to sustain human life for much longer. That is why the poet encourages us not to initiate war on our fellow men, thinking they are foreigners and that their countries are unlike our own. Thus, children, the poet James Kirkup has beautifully conveyed a strong message to stop all wars and look upon humanity as a unified entity. Thank you.